Ebrard, Secretary of Economy of Mexico, moderated by Mike Pivovar, Executive Vice President, Finance at the Milken Institute.
Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the closing plenary. My name is Mike Pivovar. I'm the Executive Vice President of Finance at the Milken Institute. I'm so pleased to lead this conversation with Marcelo Ebrard, Secretary of the Economy for Mexico. Secretary, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, we're closing our second Global Investor Symposium here in Mexico, so I can't think of a better way to do it. Throughout the day, we've explored a range of issues from Plan Mexico to USMCA to infrastructure, supply chains, and pharmaceuticals, all areas central to your ministry. So let's start with a broad question. Please share with us how you're shaping and leading President Sheinbaum's economic plan, particularly in advancing trade, investment, and economic growth.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation. Everyone, hello. I hope it's a great responsibility to have a conclusion remarks on such an important meeting. Thank you, Mike, for the questions and the presentation. Well, let me say that President Sheinbaum started to work before take the office inauguration day in order to figure out a plan to deal with the new circumstances that we are living on. And so that is Plan Mexico. Plan Mexico has not been designed for this year. It's for the 6 years. So many decisions has been taken, and the results are going to be in order to present to the public opinion results in economy growth or changes in our strategies in the next months and years. Each year you are going to be results and more results. Which is the main idea? Okay, we are going to have the necessity to increase the national capabilities, reduce the dependency on Asia in general, but other countries, imports, the growth of our deficit, which has been more than 83% only in the past 3 years, linked with the United States. Sure. So as far as the United States is redesigning their relationship with several countries in Asia, let's say more protectionist approach, at least, we need to be on time, meaning that we need to increase our capabilities, reduce dependency, reduce deficit, and be on time to present new opportunities for integration between the United States, Mexico, and Canadians. So I think that the Plan Mexico mainly this is the idea and the design. So we are managing this with many tools. Tariffs are one of them, but it's not the main one. There are many others, and several reforms at the same time in order to reach such goals in the next 4 years.
Yeah, so let's dive in on Plan Mexico. So it was announced by President Sheinbaum in January of this year, and as you mentioned, it has ambitious goals for development for the next 6 years through 2030. A few months after she announced it in April, you presented an update on the investment pipeline, the so-called portfolio for shared prosperity, and you said already at that time the portfolio consisted of over 1,000, almost 2,000 confirmed private sector projects across all 32 federal agencies and entities, representing investments of almost $300 billion between now and 2030. Can you give us an update on this investment pipeline and the overall plan?
The idea of this pipeline is a portfolio, which means that the President Sheinbaum asked us to present to the cabinet. Each Monday we have a meeting with the economic cabinet, energy included, to see where are we in terms of each investment. So we have something like 1,776 projects right now registered by companies. Mainly more than 60% are from abroad. The rest are national investments. And we are all every day organize in order to follow those investments and try to help them in order to get results in the short term. In other words, we need to support them and reduce the regulatory processes, procurement that they need. So until now, we don't have less projects, but more projects. We are going to have to reach 2,000, I think, 2,000 projects in the next month.
So you said 60% comes from abroad.
Yes.
Right. So we have at this symposium, we have a number of investors, not only from Mexico, but from abroad, and some are learning about Plan Mexico for the first time. So for those folks that haven't heard about it or are now intrigued by it, how can they partner with the government?
If they register their projects with us, we are organized for this, we can follow each project in order to support them, facilitate the investment as far as possible. Many times, the president herself asks for meetings with several companies which face different kinds of problems, not only in Mexico, can be tariffs, or yesterday we have several meetings with car industry representatives, heavy trucks or Japanese facilities in Mexico or American brands, and she is promoting directly the solution of those problems that they are facing. So the intention, this is working right now, and I think it's extremely positive for the investment.
Yeah, I think the word that has been used most to describe President Sheinbaum, but this symposium and other places, is pragmatist. She was very hands-on and very committed to, what are the frictions in the way, whether they're regulatory or otherwise, to try to get them out of the way and get more foreign direct investment here.
There are two kinds of things. You have many regulations in our country, as in the United States or other countries. So you need some support in order to fulfill all the regulations at the same time, to reduce the burden of the regulations compliance. And on the other hand, you need support when you face policy decisions, which are also very important in Mexico or in our relationship mainly with the United States.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the USMCA. Right?
The easy issue.
What's that?
Easy issue.
It's an issue. It's kind of a big deal, right? It's a
you
big,
can say.
Yeah. It's easy. We've heard from
She's
a number
very
of.
Happy.
What's that?
She is very happy outside the government.
Yeah. Well,
I envy you. Why are you smiling? Well, I am not in the government anymore. Okay, I got it.
Well, you are, and you have a seat at the table here. How do you see, you're at the forefront of this process, right? And it's really, I mean, there's going to be negotiations among the three countries that are there, but really it's about, at the end of the day, improving North American competitiveness, right? We're all in this together. So how do you see this playing out over the coming months?
Well, we had worked many months. Yesterday I was in the Senate, and I shared with them we have had something like 85 meetings with the USTR.
85?
In this process. It has been very intense. So we have mainly a basement of trust regarding the data, the propositions, and the seriousness of the dialogue, which is very important in any negotiation. And secondly, we have a common language about common problems. As far as we have more and more time on the table, it's more clear that we have more common vision or common interest than difficulties between us. Mm-hmm. Let's say it's very clear that there are no way to compete with Asia without a very close coordination between us. You name it as you wish, but it's a necessity. So right now, we are finishing the first stage, which was, what if we put on the table all the concerns that we have, Mexico and the United States, in order that avoid, when we start the review next year, to have in the middle many concerns or difficulties between us. Let's start now and try to solve before the review of the USMCA. So when we start the review of the USMCA, we are going to have very clear and precision between us. What are we discussing? What are we looking for?
Got it.
So we are in the 90% of advance about this intention. Maybe in the next 2 weeks, we are going to have some results, important ones. And well, I have an optimistic approach about what can be the outcome of the USMCA negotiations next year. We are right now in the consultation process. But why I am in this optimistic point of view? Because our expectations were more pessimistic when we started this in January, February. And I think that it's going to be the same thing for the next year. We are going to have more optimistic, more positive results than expected, I think.
And in terms of the issues that are laying, I mean, hopefully you could tell us some about these, right? So when you think about USMCA for the first time around, right, addressing some of the things in NAFTA, and there was, countries of origin with things being, intermediate goods here in Mexico, those sorts of things. Are those types of issues that are continue? And then also it added, there was nothing on digital, and that was added in USMCA. Is there going to be a continuation of those discussions, particularly in light of the rapid advances in artificial intelligence and those things?
Good point. I think that you are going to have, everyone is expecting discussions about several issues that they are going to take place next year. But at the same time, we need to advance the supply chain security and opportunities between us. There are no way to do it. So you see each week a difference in the items that we are discussing. So you started, the first discussion was about fentanyl. Now we are discussing about what are we going to do with advancing manufacturing in North America? Because we have the skills. You are not going to find the same skills in the United States, necessarily. So we are in another discussion right now, more in the which is going to be our cooperation, our economies in the next 5 years than the starting point in January this year.
So let's drill down on that, on the supply chains, right? Another theme of this conference has been the opportunities involved with this, right? So, you're fast becoming a regional hub for advanced manufacturing, green energy, digital innovation, home to new semiconductor projects. Some call it nearshoring, some call it friendshoring, some call it ally shoring. Whatever it is, it's clearly reshaping global production. So where do you see Mexico's opportunities in this realignment of supply chains?
Well, I see that we are going to have, in the short term, some negative impacts of several decisions that have been taken or are going to be taken in the next months. But at the same time, there are more and more a clear space, room to have a common vision with the United States, not only the administration, but the companies and the investors. So, which is going to be more important? As far as you advance in the time, the second one is going to be more and more important regarding the competitiveness with mainly China, but not only. Which opportunities do we have? Many. Pharmaceuticals, medical devices, advanced manufacturing, robots, drones, many of those things can be done here. Many other fields that I see, for instance, petrochemicals. We need to expand petrochemical more than twice in Mexico in the next years. Energy, we need to work on this because artificial intelligence is going to need more than twice the energy that we have already. Obviously, data centers and the data economy between Mexico and the United States is going to work very fastly. As a matter of fact, if you pay attention to the last investments in Mexico, the most important ones are in this field. Not energy only, but mainly data and data centers and artificial intelligence in our country. So I see that those fields that I mentioned are growing very fastly right now,
Yeah,
or
so,
can be in the next months.
yeah, and with data centers comes also needs in the infrastructure that
The
is needed
energy
for
and water.
energy, water.
Water in less proportion than expected because they changed the technology.
Yeah.
So they are using less and less water than in the past. But energy, obviously, we need to generate more energy fastly.
And then, and people, right? And as Mike Milken talks about, the amount, the human capital, and the Monterey Institute of Technology here is fast producing large numbers of STEM graduates.
Well, for instance, there are several initiatives in this regard. Yesterday we had a visit from Arizona because we are working not only with the government of Arizona, which is very important, but also with the university, and a system in Mexico of technical specialization. This is CONALEP with 315 young people there. So we are going to connect this system mainly with the Arizona University and several companies in order to expand fastly our capabilities and skills in robotics and semiconductors processes. So this was the issue yesterday, for instance. So I think that there are many opportunities right now. The question is, are we going to be on time? So we need to really make an effort to do it as fast as the market needs those answers.
Yeah, and as an investment in the future, it's going to take a long time to pay off. Let me move to a different topic here. So in addition to the USMCA, Mexico, US, and Canada are also joined together as we prepare to co-host the World Cup next year, right?
That's true.
And so it's not a sports question, it's an economics question. So in terms of, right, so there's three cities here in Mexico that will host matches: Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey. From an economic standpoint, how important will these events be to the overall economy of Mexico, and in particular for those cities?
Well, I think that is the most important promotion for those cities and our country that can be, in our perspective, in the next years. There are no other way to fulfill the same impact that is going to be with those activities in the World Cup. But let's see, Mexico promote itself in the 60s and 70s, in the first World Cup in Mexico, was extraordinarily important for the world generation of people which have by then take a picture of Mexico. It was the first time in 1970. Then you have another generation in 1986. Quite different. You are very young people, but our generation in the 86 happened something similar. I mean, millions of people take account of Mexico through the World Cup of 86. And now we have the opportunity to send the picture of Mexico for a new generation, complete new generation. We compete here, is a great opportunity for us in order to compete with the narco cartel series and negative image of Mexico. And suddenly you have a window to present what is going on and which kind of country are we. So I think that's a great opportunity, not only in terms of immediate economic terms or impacts, but also in terms of your image regarding our country. When you listen Mexico, okay, I remember another thing, which is not negative, it's positive. So it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this is exactly what we're trying to do here at this symposium, is for a lot of investors haven't heard the story of Mexico, right? You're the 12th
Thank you very
largest...
much for that. You're very welcome to do it many times, several times.
Yeah. You're the 12th largest GDP, right, in the world, and you do attract foreign direct investment, but you have so much more capacity to attract more. So you think the World Cup is actually going to...
it's going to be very useful for Mexico, and it's a great opportunity for us. And two, and so it's a good opportunity to show a North American great event organized between us, the United States, Canada, and Mexico at the same time, to be to send the message of North American region working together. It's a great and very positive message to send, I think, especially now.
So let's play it forward. The World Cup matches are happening. You're asked to do a commercial for Mexico to tell the story of why to invest here. You've got millions of people around the world. What would be sort of the key highlights that you would have in that message?
Well, this is a modern country. This is an open country. This is a country, successful country, with the capabilities to organize this and other great events or fulfill great objectives, and working together with the United States and Canada at the same time. This is going to be really important, I think. The main highlights. Yeah. I have another ones, but it's not possible to pass through a World Cup. Unless we won the
Okay.
Let's try to do it.
It's good. Before we leave the World Cup, any predictions on how well Team Mexico is going to do?
Very well. Let's ask someone else, and a specialist here.
All right, good. As I mentioned, we do have a lot of investors in the room. We also have folks from other parts of the civil society, nonprofit organizations. What can we do to help you?
Well, I think that exactly what are you doing right now, and we are very open to your initiatives and your ideas. Right now, we are in the consultation of previous review of the USMCA. We are going to have dialogues with 30 different sectors of our economy for the first time in order to find out what to do better, with which kind of things we need to change, modify, or innovate in order to be more effective, and what can be proposed to the United States and Canada for the next years for this new economy. This review is going to happen in the middle of maybe the greatest change in technology in our time, this century, which is the eruption of artificial intelligence. This is going to change the landscape of the economy. So, well, there are many opportunities, several opportunities, to work together with investors, civil society, in order to be as effective as possible, thinking on the region, United States, Canada, and Mexico, for the next years. I think there are a lot of things to do.
Yeah. We're almost out of time. I want to ask you for any last words you would like to give folks here to the audience before we close up.
Well, first of all, let's be optimistic. It's not a religious thing. Yeah. It's about, I think that the USMCA is going to survive. We are going to establish security for our supply chain cooperation standards that we don't have right now. So this is going to improve our capabilities and possibilities. This is going to be more and more important in the dialogue with the United States, if you regard the starting point in January. Why optimistic? Because it's such the strength of our integration with the United States, our economic integration, that it's not possible to even imagine the future between in our countries without the United States or without Mexico or without Canada. So despite the immediate pressures and tensions that you can see in the media, we are going to fulfill the main goal, which is survive the USMCA, strength, integration, and create for the first time a common vision and a program in order to protect our supply chain, in order to organize the advancing manufacturing processes, to protect our minerals strategies, which are not being coordinated the past years. We don't have a common strategy about this, which has been very costly not to have this. And so I am very optimistic about this. And we want you to be part of this process. You are very welcome. Thank you for your interest in Mexico and the future of our relationships. Milken Institute, thank you very much. Mike, thank you very much. And see you soon. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. So And Mr. Secretary, thank you. You have such a busy schedule, and I know you have to leave. And I need to do 3 quick things before we get out of here. First, like everyone, please help me thank Mr. Secretary for joining us today, taking time out of your schedule today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Second, up on the screen, there should be in a minute, a list of our upcoming Milken Institute events throughout the world at the end of 2025 and 2026. I don't know. Here we go. We have some of the ones that are up there. Our next event is in Sao Paulo around COP30. We have our Middle East and Africa Summit in Abu Dhabi. Lots of investors in the Middle East who might be interested in Mexico. And in Washington, D.C. in March of next year, we're having our first Future of Finance event in our newly opened Milken Center for Advancing the American Dream. In May of next year, we have our global conference, and there's some other ones that are listed up there. So fantastic. And then finally, and end by saying, please join us downstairs in the courtyard for our closing reception to celebrate the success of our 2nd annual symposium here in Mexico City. Thank you.
Congrats, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.